Hey, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Unblocking Your Purpose. I am Jada, your host, your girl. I just want to say thank you for being here as always. I really hope that you are getting something from all of these episodes because I tell you, me speaking out loud to you and from hearing from a lot of you and saying, hey, you were like in my brain, you were in my mind, it makes me feel like I'm not as alone as well in this journey. So, thank you for that. I hope that you are taking some of those cues and doing some of those little challenges or homework assignments that I'm giving you. And if you're brand new, welcome. Go back and check out the other episodes. They're pretty short. I like to get in and get out and just try to start your week off to try to encourage you as we are going through this thing called life, as we are, dealing with motherhood or dealing with marriage, dealing with jobs, all the things, right? As one of my good friends says, ATT, all the things. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And for those that have continued to watch, I will always say thank you when I open these episodes because I would not do this without support of you all. So, thanks. And let's get on into this episode. I'm kind of going through different, talking points and really kind of getting into maybe some of the not so wonderful sides of motherhood, and maybe not even just motherhood but like womanhood, or when we are dealing with challenges in our lives, especially when it deals with when those challenges come about from things that we've prayed for, things that we've wish hoped for, all those things, right? We get them and we have probably envisioned them to be a certain way. Okay, I'm going to be this type of mom, or I'm going to climb the ladder, and by the time I'm this age, I'm going to have this title, or whatever it is, that we have wished for, dreamed for, hoped for, prayed for, all of the things, and we get them, and then it doesn't quite turn out how we want. And then we still have to figure out how to keep going, how to deal with those situations, and really how to like turn them around so that they will actually work in our favor. So some of these episodes are probably a little hard to hear. They are definitely a little hard to talk about, and it's because I too don't get it right a lot of times. And I will have those moments where I'm breaking down to my husband. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. You have to, take this load or do this. Or I'm talking to my brother, or I'm talking to my friends, and getting not so much as like affirmation for what I did, because hey, I know when I can fair catch when I do something wrong. So it's not so much for them to validate me or to reassure me that, yeah, you got it wrong, but for them to be like, I know who you are. You know who you are. God knows who you are. But let me remind you, and let me give you that little bit of encouragement, because we're not going to get it right all the time. But it doesn't mean that we can't learn from it. It doesn't mean we can't turn it and that we do it better, because, we know that God is not going to tempt us. That's not his job. That's not what he's going to do. So if you ever feel tempted, that is not from him. But he will test us. He will test our faith and test our trust in him and our faith in him and believing and leaning on him. And so sometimes I've had in life, whether it's been a career situation, which I am thinking of one very vividly when I was a little captain in the Army. And I've also had it with, marriage. We have not, I mean, we're so excited. We're going through a phase right now where we're just looking back and like so grateful for where we are now, and like things that we have gone through, things that we continue to go through, and how we come out on the other side. So, whether it's career, whether it's my marriage, whether it's with my kids, because I do not get it right with them a lot of times. And y'all, I'm trying. Like I try to give them soft warnings a couple of times, and then boom, I'm upset, and I'm like, even asking myself, like, why are you triggered by this? Right. And then being upset, but understanding that one, I am still teaching them. They're learning from everything that I do. So taking the time to calm down, get myself under control, and then to really honestly apologize to them and to explain where I went wrong and how I am going to work at doing better, right? So we all go through that. So if you didn't catch last week's episode, talking about, mom rage and resentment, because it does not feel good no matter what situation, work, family, motherhood, it doesn't feel good. But we are here in this community to, be here for each other, to encourage each other, and to inspire all of us to continue to grow in all of the areas of our lives, right? So I wanted to preference that because we are still going to go into some topics that may not be, you know, smiley, warm, fuzzy, unicorns, rainbows, all that, right? But all of this helps us to be better. So this week, I wanted to talk about mom burnout and the battle to feel like you again. And actually, as I am recording this, I'm feeling this. I am feeling this. And I know I'm not alone. And I'm not asking you to raise your hand, but I did want to discuss it because, again, a lot of you have told me, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I completely get that. And I feel that. And I've been there. So I'm wanting this to be more of an encouragement to you that if, like me, you're going through this right now, or if you've been there, or when it comes again, because it will, that you're not alone and we are in this flesh. It is going to happen. But with the grace of God and with Him guiding us and with your good group, or your support system, you too will continue to push through it. And like my husband and I, we have those crucial conversations, we have those hard moments, and we talk about it, we work through it, and we come out on the other side better. And that's the same that we can do as moms, as women, as professionals, all the things. So that's what I want to talk about. The Bible verse this week comes from Jeremiah 31:25. Sweet and simple, and simply says, I will refresh the weary and satisfy the faint. So we know that there are going to be times where we are mentally taxed. We are emotionally just hurting, maybe. We're physically tired. Like we are just going through it. And if you're like me, we're trying to do it all. And hopefully you're like me now after hearing some of the episodes, like you don't have to do it all on your own. But even in that, even in having, the support system and having maybe you're able to have someone help clean your house or pick up your kids or whatever it is, it's still hard because we still want to be super involved, right? We don't want to feel like we've checked out or all these people are running our lives or we don't want it to be like that. So we still get caught up in this burnt out cycle. Okay, right? I'm still not asking you to raise your hand, but I know you know because a lot of you I personally know and I know you feel this. So we have to understand that yes, those times will come, but what are the things that we're doing to help us to work through them quicker? Okay, and that's what I've really started to learn. Like, yes, things are going to happen in life. And yes, we want the outcome to be one that is going to actually help us, right? And help reach our end state. So how do we get through that quicker? So it's not about, okay, you're going to have this perfect rosy life and nothing's ever going to go wrong. But what are the things that you are able to do to maybe prevent some of that burnout? What are some of the things that you can do when you feel it coming, right? Or maybe you see it coming, you're in it, and it's like, how do I get out of this as quick as I can and not be a disruption to myself, my family, my job, whoever that who's in your sphere. So that is what I am encouraging you in this episode. Think of the things that will help you to transition through that quicker because we all know, and I don't know if I've said it on an episode so far this season, but I heard a beautiful quote and I'm paraphrasing, and it basically said, we are not supposed to be, we know, yep, you can't pour from an empty cup. We got that one, right? But it was like, we're not even supposed to just pour from like our own jug or our own cup. We are supposed to be so filled up that we are pouring into others from our overflow. And sis, if you are burnt out, if you are not getting sleep, if you are not eating well, and I understand that, right? If you are not taking those mental breaks and those timeouts, I think we talked about the like the micro breaks, like what can you put in your day to help reset you and to refresh you. If you are not, and let's say you have a hobby or something that you love to do that is to the core of who you are, and you're not doing these things because you're so busy taking care of everybody and everything else, then of course you're going to go to burnout. And what happens when we do that? We're burning out, and as the kids say now, we're crashing out, right? We are short tempered and maybe we're getting sick, like physically getting sick. We don't need that because we definitely are not then filling up, and we're not going to be in a place where we're so full that we're overflowing. And that's where we should aim to be, in that overflow. So I am not saying that hard things are not going to happen. We are in this flesh, we are in this on this earth, we are going through this thing called life, as we said, right? But what are the things that you can do to get you through that? Not only that, what are the things when you have time to say, okay, let me take up on these things so when, life starts to happen, I can reach back to that. For example, for me, sometimes I will finally make it in to go get a massage. It's hard to come by lately. But if I'm able to take that time and then make that time and I go do that, it is a time for me to, one, take care of my physical body, two, take care of my mind, because I'm like, all right, I did something for me, right? And then when I'm like, okay, I know it's going to be stressful next week because we got all the dance, we got all the stuff, I can just be like, okay, but go back to that moment. Go back to that peace in your mind. Because where your mind goes, your body will follow. Okay. It starts in our minds. So if we are able to build ourselves up, if we are able to, for instance, maybe you create a playlist that you like to listen to. So I'll have moments where maybe I'm feeling a little down or I'm feeling a little empty, I'm feeling a little burnt out, and I have I probably need to create another one because I think my the title says 2024 worship music, praise and worship. So I have a playlist, and I tell y'all, I will start with praise and worship with my babies as we're sitting in car line, and I continue that bad boy even when I'm in the office with my earbud in and just getting pumped up and getting just re-energized. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it could be music, it could be a massage, it could be, you know what, I'm gonna go let my babies, I'm gonna help my friend out, she gonna help me out, she's taking care of my babies, I'm able to put a little something in her pocket, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sleep. I've talked about that before. It could look like that. It can look like, you know what, I have a friend that I am in her book club, and yes, I can't read the book even though I bought the book, but I'm listening to it in Audible, and then it's interesting because it's not necessarily a book I would have picked up on my own, but it has been very entertaining so far, and I can't wait to have a moment to get with girlfriends to discuss something and have that moment. So you see what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I wouldn't have had the time to necessarily read it, but now I can listen to it. I am going to be supporting her. I'm going to get something from it. And it also goes to a piece on my vision board of more time with my mama friends. So what I'm saying or trying to say, articulate in this is find things that connect back to you, things that are just for you, but in turn, in doing them, are going to help you to pour all the way in so you're overflowing and you're flowing into somebody else, because the burnout is real. And especially, this just came to me, especially right now, right? We are in September, and before you know it, we're knocking on all the holidays. They're coming. I've heard about this lean in. Everybody's trying to lean in these last few months because it's like, all right, to get a jump start on 2026, what are the things that we can do now to prepare us to get ready for that? And those should be things that light you up. Those should be things that allow you to remember yourself when you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner and shopping for Christmas and doing all the things and the decorations and the trees, and that time is coming. So what can you start doing now to prepare yourself for that season? Because we're not going to stop time. Time waits for nobody. But we can do things now to prepare for when that time comes, and think What are the things that I can do even when I'm in all of that time and prepping and planning and moving people around still and dealing with school and all the, the teacher presence and all the things, right? So start doing that now. It's not something that you need to do between now and next week. These are just, thoughts and ideas that I have as you and I are heading into this season, because the burnout is real, but I don't want you to burn out. I don't need you to burn out. People need you and they are counting on you. So make sure that you do what you need to do for you and for those that you care for and love and want to support, as you are already doing, but in a way that will come from a place of fullness and from a place of peace and even from a place of rest. And remember, in those times where maybe you feel like it's overwhelming, because it will happen and it's okay, just remember the verse, Jeremiah 31:25. I will refresh the weary and satisfy the faint. So when you have those moments and all else has failed, even if you're like, oh goodness, I had these things, in place for when this was coming, because I remember Jada saying this in my ear, call on him. He will get you through when nobody else can. And I'm not saying to make him the last resort. Start with him, keep him there all the time, but know that he is there for you and he will give you what you need, especially if you don't have an idea. You just surrender to him and he will get you through it, okay? All right. Thank you so much for still rocking and rolling. Know that you are not alone when we have these tough times in our lives, and know that you are more than capable to do hard things and to overcome any obstacle and any temptation that may come to you, and that you can get over the burnout or stop it from starting. So until next week, take care of yourself. Just think about those things, and I'll see you later. All right. Love you. Bye.